Hello to our CPR podcast. Today is a special day because our topic is women's role in the parliament and state reforms. Why today is special? Because we are dedicating today's podcast for the International Women's Day, and we have a special guest, a member of parliament, and Dr. Zuhra Shodiyeva. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
Let's kick off the discussion with the first question. How did you enter the politics and why?
Okay, so very interesting and very personal question, I would say. So my journey to politics started with the participation as a candidate for deputies to the legislative chamber in 2019, where I was nominated by the People's Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
But my actual interest and engagement, I would say, to politics started when I joined the Academy of Public Administration under the president of Uzbekistan in 2012.
Which is a prestigious institution, right?
Yes, yes. And I delivered a lecture there on management, marketing, human resource development, on strategic management and strategic marketing. And but I always was curious about what is public administration, because I knew that it's not just about management.
Yes.
It's something more, something bigger, something wider. And I decided to apply for the scholarship of chevening program of the British Embassy in Tashkent. And I was lucky to win. It was a very long process for the several months, but finally I got the scholarship. In 2015, I started my study on the course of public administration at London Metropolitan University as a master's student.
Another prestigious university, right? It's a top-ranking university in the world.
Yes. In contrast to the courses that I had taught before at the Academy of Public Administration under the president of Uzbekistan and at Tashkent State University of Economics as a lecturer, so the course on public administration was all about the policy, all about the social policy in particular. And we learned such disciplines as comparative public policy, the art of public strategy, and strategic management of public and non-governmental organizations. And we learned environmental policy, education policy, health policy, about the public services and how to provide people needs and provide services on the level of the central government and particularly on the level of the local government. Okay. And after finishing my master's and coming back to Uzbekistan, I decided to apply all my gained knowledge here on my home country.
Okay. So
Great.
first, like to a way of concluding what you said. So you went to study to London, focusing on public administration out of curiosity, and during that process, you became interested in politics, and here we are. You are as MP of the parliament, right?
Yes, right.
Okay.
And I will also like to add that the topic of my master dissertation was particular on the policy of domestic violence and its comparative analysis between England and Wales. So we dealt mostly with the comparison of social policy in different spheres among the countries.
Which is a hot topic in our country as well, right?
Yes, yeah.
Dr. Shodiyeva, I would like to ask you about How does your background contribute to working in parliament and to actively participate in lawmaking process?
Okay, so before being selected as a deputy to the legislative chamber, I worked in several organizations. So my first job was in the bank, at the People's Bank, and starting from 1999 to 2000. And further, I was lucky to work at the Ustos Foundation at the international department. Further, I worked as a chief specialist of international department at Ustos Foundation, that further joined with Umid Foundation and became Istadot Foundation. And furthermore, I worked at the international department of Kazkom, Uzbek American Cellular Company.
Did you work on your dissertation while working in Coscom company?
Yes, I worked at the cellular company and also worked on my PhD dissertation, which was on marketing of cotton seeds in Uzbekistan. So it was
another
really
hot topic.
Yes, very interesting and very important, let's say, topic in our country. And but after in 2008, I defended my dissertation and got academic degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and started my future career as a lecturer at Tashkent State University of Economics. I provided lectures on different topics concerning economics, like finance of enterprises, or corporate governance, or anti-crisis management of enterprises, and also human resources development. And in 2012, I was invited to provide lectures to the Academy of Public Administration and the president of Uzbekistan, where I provided lectures on marketing management, as I already said. And I would say that all this knowledge gained through the practical experience as well as theoretical knowledge helped me now as a deputy, as a member of parliament, to better understand the laws. Because as you know, many laws comes to the parliament from different ministers concerning different spheres. And it can be on agriculture, on budget, education, health, and agriculture, and many other.
Dr. Shodiyeva, I want to come back to your personality and to your character. As you told us, you defend your PhD dissertation and saying openly, for most of the women in Uzbekistan, getting a PhD degree is a very high achievement. And usually women stop at this level and they do not dig deeper, and they don't consider themselves to gain more from this life. But you choose to get international degree, to work on yourself, to improve your knowledge, and to represent a woman's voice in the parliament. Was this important for you to be a woman's voice and to represent what women need in our society at the parliament?
Okay, so yes, very interesting question, I would say, because it occupies, in order to answer this question, it occupies, let's say, all my career path. And I would say that despite of the PhD degree and master's degree, from I would say from the school. I always was interested in learning, and I also applied to different grants from other organizations like Tempus Stasis, which I was lucky to win IMG, individual mobility grant. That I was lucky to win individual mobility grant from Tempus Stasis, and I went to Biruf Academy in 2003 for the short course. Here my supervisor was from this academy, and when we worked on my project together, I learned that I saw that they had such principles like lifelong learning. So it was very good principle. Learning urged me all the time to do something, to get further steps in my career, and to achieve more as a woman. And I would say that actually in Uzbekistan, particularly for the several years, Uzbekistan has provided more opportunities for women and girls to express their role in the public.
That was my following question. So how has the representation of women in Uzbekistan and in politics evolved? Why this question is important? Because more or less we still live in a traditional society where men are bossy and there's no space for women. And what is the government doing in terms of tackling this problem or filling this gap?
Yes, the thing is that today Uzbekistan pays great attention to the development of women in the society, and government creates all possible opportunities for them to actively participate in all spheres of life in our society. And one of the major priorities of the state policy of Uzbekistan is achieving gender equality and ensure the rights, freedoms, and interests of women to be represented in Uzbekistan. It is worth to mention that Uzbekistan has joined all major international treaties and laws which provide legal, political, social, and economic protection of women from all forms of discrimination and violence. And one of the main goals of the Sustainable Development Agenda by 2030 that was adopted by the General Assembly of the United Nations Organization is to achieve gender equality. And in order to implement and achieve this goal, Uzbekistan has developed tasks to empower women and girls in Uzbekistan. And I would like to outline that several strategies and laws were accepted starting from 2017 in our country. So the first is the action strategy for the years 2017 and 2021 that was aimed at ensuring social and political and legal protection of women, employment of women, and creating all possible conditions for them. Further, in 2023, following that, in 2021, the strategy of achieving gender equality in Uzbekistan by 2030 was also adopted. So the strategy defines priority areas of the state policy with relation to women and it also provides equal rights and opportunities for women and men in accordance with the Constitution of Uzbekistan, including exercise of electoral rights.
Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, in 2023, the strategy of Uzbekistan by 2030 also was adopted, and in this document, the goal is to achieve gender equality and to eliminate all forms of discrimination of women and girls, and creating all opportunities for them to actively participate and express their abilities in the social and in all spheres of life in our society. It is necessary to outline that the Article 58 of the renewed Constitution of Uzbekistan states that women and men have equal rights, and state ensures equal rights and opportunities for women and men in management of society and state affairs, including all spheres of other public and state life. It is so. As to the laws, we have two laws which are gender oriented, and that was adopted in 2019. The first is the law on guarantees of equal rights and opportunities for women and men, which, in line with other rights, ensures equal rights for women and men to be nominated by the parties. Second law, which is gender sensitive, is the law on protection of women from harassment and abuse.
Okay, so but still, laws are really beautiful. Do they work in practice?
Yes, it's a very challenging question, because now I remember the lectures that I learned from the course of public administration at London Metropolitan University, when our professors always told that the law can be perfect, but the main thing is its implementation, because the law can carry a really good goal, a really good purpose, and can bring a lot benefit for people, but its implementation is the main thing. How it is implemented at all levels of the government, on the central government and the local government, particularly in the local government. That's the question, and that's the problem. But I would say that by the initiatives of our president of Uzbekistan nowadays, a great attention is paid, particularly to implementation at the local level. Yes, particular at the local level, and many managers, let's say, of state organizations are required to meet with people, and we have such experience, as you know. So many corresponding organizations, let's say, the law or the law bodies, also have meetings, open meetings with people, with public, and other organizations as well. So now it is, I think that it is, the implementation is being better, but still there is always room for development, I think, and for improvement. But actually, if we refer to statistics, we would see that real changes have occurred for the last several years.
Otabek, we discussed before that we still have limited number of women in politics. And can you share about your experience, how you talk to the audience and how you deliver your aims and, as you said, educate people about the new role laws? How do people react to you as a deputy?
Especially when the society is traditional still.
Yes.
Like we have so many conservatives. How do they perceive you as a woman and politician?
Yes. Before answering this question, now I have just remembered that my first meetings as a candidate for deputies in the elections of 2019, in my activity in the pre-election campaign, where I developed my program, my own program, which of course was linked with the main program of the party. And in my program, I included experience and knowledge that I gained from study at London Metropolitan University, because as I have already said, that we learned a lot about the social policy, the provision of services, for handicapped people, the provision of services for children and people in general. And there were some suggestions from my own experience in my program that I presented to people, and I said that I would do this and that, and because I know this gave a positive feedback and positive results, because it was implemented in such developed country like the UK.
So you
As
impressed people.
Yes, and I would say that people were very interested, and they understood that, of course, the qualification and knowledge of any person which is going to be a leader is very important. Yeah, people like these ideas, I would say.
But what about the reaction of men? Do they react normally, or was it like, she's not gonna do anything, she won't be able to do anything? Like, this is sort of traditional thinking, right? How did they react to you? Did you face this kind of stuff, or maybe not? I don't know. Based on your experience, maybe based on your visits to different regions of Uzbekistan, when you meet with your electorate.
Actually, I would say that there was no such
reaction.
Yes, there was no bad reaction.
It's a good sign then.
Towards me, from particularly the men. Because, as I said, that when people saw my biography and where I worked and studied, and they understood that probably I could do something.
You are skilled.
Yes, I could do something. I was able to make maybe very little,
But you said something important here.
Yes.
So it's not about men and women,
yes,
but about your background. So it means that your background, the places where you studied, they spoke for themselves, right? So it was sort of a business card for the people. Look, here I am, and I have this kind of background, and I'm able to do some changes in our society. That's why I'm, participating in these elections, right?
Yes, yes, actually, yes.
I think Dr. Shodiyeva mentioned many times that she's very lucky, but I think she's very hardworking. And
yeah, there's a huge difference between luck and hardworking.
Yes, because in 2013, not many people think about scholarship and grants. It's popular now to say I won the grant, or I applied for the scholarship, but back to 10 years ago, it was quite challengeable,
Yes.
Yeah, you are right in terms of that. It was difficult to find scholarship. It was difficult to find information about the
And to
scholarship.
agree this scholarship with your elite heads, maybe.
Yes, and it took me so many hours just to find information, you know.
So you are
And
hardworking.
the other thing is to win, but first you have to find information and the proper scholarship, because each scholarship has its eligibilities, yes, so its requirements,
Yes,
and not
Uzbekistan
all
was-
scholarship can fit, let's say,
Yes.
for any person, yeah.
The final question, what advice would you give to young women who are interested in joining politics?
Thanks to reforms that was initiated by our president, that now young people have so many opportunities. If you want to study, there are a lot of centers
Yes.
which provide information, which will which provide the courses for you, and it is much easier to take IELTS at least.
Sure.
So
For
the
free
whole-
sometimes, right?
Yes,
If you get some
yes,
scores,
and
you can get money back.
yes, yes. So the only thing now, I told to my students, just a big desire, impetus to do something. That's all. The
Okay.
other thing you already have itself. Take active participation in implementation and development of state gender policy, and ensures gender equality in all its structures and bodies. Furthermore, it adopts gender-sensitive laws and undertake gender expertise of laws adopted. And I would say that for young ladies who is going to be a politician, there is no difference between whether to be a female or male member of parliament. And because female and males in the parliament have equal rights and opportunities to participate in any events, in any meetings, in panel sessions of the chamber, ask questions, express their opinions while discussing the laws. There is no restrictions for their activity. Instead, the activity is preferable. The activity of women is preferable in the parliament. And additionally, we see that the chairman of Senate in Ali Majlis is women. The chairman of and additionally, we see that the chairman of Senate in Ali Majlis is woman. And one of the deputy speakers in the legislative chamber is also woman. And some committees are headed by women, and the head of fractions are women. So there are many opportunities for women to represent, to express themselves, and to be active in the parliament. Dear ladies, it's high time for politics.
Dear Dr. Shodiyeva, thank you so much for participating in our podcast. I think we had a really cordial and great talk.
Yes,
Thank
I
you
think
so
we
much,
have we had conversation with a pure role model for women.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
as well.
you.
Thank you.